Well, by now you have either watched the game or you've seen the incredible headlines of what is considered perhaps the greatest NFL game in history, especially for a Super Bowl game, because of the historic comeback of the New England Patriots to come back and defeat the Atlanta Falcons in overtime. And I actually wanted to use that game as the basis of today's reflection, because the game was an amazing demonstration of perseverance against really all odds. If you didn't watch it, it was, by the end of the first half, it was 28-3, the Falcons leading, and everybody was stunned. And for all intents and purposes, the game was over. Nobody has ever come back in NFL history, especially in the Super Bowl, with that kind of a deficit in the score. And so many people may have just turned the game off, but something was for me was underlying, like, I was just hoping, almost like for a miracle, to see this game turn out into something. Well, the second half, and really the last 11 minutes or so of the game, is where everything came down to that. And that was, we saw a team rally from really a kind of a hopeless situation, you could say, and really dig in and fight to the end. And they had, I don't forget, it was 34-20, I think was the final score. So you had like 31 unanswered points. The point of this is that this was a great demonstration of a human virtue of persevering against the odds. St. Paul tells us, St. Paul's a man who loved sport, because he saw what it brought out in the human person, and the kinds of things that God made us capable of. And so to see this witness on such a level, where nobody gave up hope, even if millions of people around the world watching were like, this game's over. The athletes, the participants, you can kind of say, like Theodore Roosevelt said, the man in the arena did not give up. And that's where we really saw this amazing example, because here it was, running out of time, even time, everything was hopeless, and they kept, they stuck to it. They stayed calm, they were steady, and then all the way to the end, they found their rhythm at the very end, and that's all it took. My point, though, is this: no matter where you are in your life, it could be, you may have a hopeless situation where it feels like, the game of your finances is against you, and you're trying this. Maybe you're an entrepreneur and you think you're failing and failing, and no matter what you're doing, it seems like the score is getting bigger against you. Never give up. Never give up. In your spiritual life, if you feel lonely, desolate, whatever it may be, don't give up. There's a reason and there's a purpose behind everything that God allows. And so when we look forward and we look at this game, which is going to be remembered, like I said, as one of the best in history, let's see a deeper wisdom that God wants to show us through the analogy of sport is persevere. Don't listen to what anybody else tells you. Stay the course, especially in things of the Spirit. Allow God to do great things in desperate situations. Stay calm, stay steady, and never, ever, 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 ever give up.